So I think the recorder's on now, right?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Hi, Diane. I see your chat here that you've got 2 last names in there. I saw that on some of the registrations. Some people, it just listed it twice, so I'm not sure why that happened. But we're glad you're here regardless.
Yeah, for sure. That's funny. So maybe we'll give a couple more minutes, but if you're in the chat and you can hear us, if you want to type in, where you're from or what company you're with, we'd love to, just to see who's joining us. Awesome. Oh, Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Perfect. Hi. And Diane, you're in Alabama. That's Marcus's region. We've got Wisconsin.
Hi,
Cool.
Jim. Oh, great. Hi, Tracy.
Hey, Megan. See, you're in Florida. Cool.
Hi, Kelly. We've got lots of friends that registered for this for sure, so I'm going to ask Perla. Tracy, did you get married? Is this a married name that I see in the chat? Is that why I'm confused right now?
Congratulations.
Well, congratulations.
I love when friends get on webinars. That's awesome.
If you didn't get anything from your registry, Tracy, just put it in the chat and see what comes your way.
Seriously, that's a good idea, Wayne.
Oh, you'll be a Richardson forever, Tracy. I know that much about that family. Well, I hope we all get to see each other and meet, in person again once we start going to these conferences. I know NS3 is coming up. We're planning on going to that one. Same with Alta. So I hope to meet all these people. That would be nice.
See some old friends again. Yeah, that'll be so nice. Isn't it kind of weird too, though? Like Dustin, you and I have never met in person. Marcus, you and I have never met in person. But Dustin, you and I work closely. It feels like we're friends, We've never met in person.
Yeah. We've figured out a way to do it. It's forced us all to learn how to look into the camera a little bit more.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else in the chat has felt the same way, but I'm like, wow, I haven't met you in person. Kind of weird.
Yeah, it's wild. I did a event last night with an underwriter, and but it is good to be back in the room with live, real people. So I'm super excited about that this year too.
Yeah,
same.
Pizza and beer is kind of hard over a Zoom camera or
I know people have gotten really creative with the way that they've been doing webinars. I know a notary service, Nima, had a DJ on their webinar, and it was actually really fun.
That's super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, she had people up and dancing and highlighted people. It was during the breaks of the session. It was really,
a really awesome idea that Missy had.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, I guess maybe we should go ahead and get started.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, perfect. Well, everybody keep messaging in the chat box. That's totally fine as we go. This will be a really fun and chill conversation with Marcus and Dustin, but I just wanted to go ahead and thank everybody here officially for being here on our panel discussion on, how you can set yourself apart from the masses in our current environment. Like the market is really, really hot right now, and there's a lot of title agencies and other organizations and companies just popping up left and right. So, how do you make yourself different from, your competitor across the street, or how do you help enhance, the client experience or the efficiency for your team? It's more about thinking about how we can help each other instead of, being competitors. So I apologize for saying that. I definitely think it's more about working together. So that's what Marcus and Dustin are here today to chat with us about in our panel discussion. My name is Perla Aparicio, and I'm the Industry Relations Manager at Payments.io. Now, to give you a quick overview of what Payments.io is, we are a white-labeled bidirectional payment platform that facilitates the transfer of funds in a real estate transaction. Pretty simple. If you have any questions about it, feel free to let me know. But Dustin will be talking a little bit about it during the presentation, so I just wanted to let everybody know what's going on. Now, I would like to introduce you to our co-host, the owner and the Chief Inspiration Officer at Bo Digital, Wayne Stanley.
Thank you, Perla. It's great to see so many friends on here today, and those that couldn't attend live but are going to watch this recording afterwards. Bo Digital is a marketing agency that helps title insurance agents, underwriters, and real estate attorneys with their marketing all around the country. So as we talk about all this today, if it strikes any needs or brainstorms for you, I'm more than happy to chat afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Wayne. It has been such a pleasure working with you, your whole entire team at Bo Digital, and especially Brad and Heather. You have an amazing team. So if anybody has any questions or gets any inspiration that Wayne can help you with, please let him know. Great. Well, now I'd like to introduce you to one of our panel speakers. So we are happy to have Dustin Atkins from Capital Title of Washington joining us today to share his knowledge on the industry, on technology, and on marketing. So Dustin brings over 20 years of experience in residential real estate, and he has been incredibly successful in real estate sales, corporate relocation, project management, and executive leadership. Dustin has excelled in these positions by being optimistic and an effective leader who likes to collaborate with his team and really just gets things done. Now, I have worked with Dustin and his team in the past, and I've been really impressed by the way that he leads his employees with empathy, motivation, and respect. Dustin really enjoys connecting with his team and his clients, and Dustin, we're just very excited to have you here.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
And now I would like to introduce Marcus Hunt with South Oak Title. Marcus is the founder and co-owner of South Oak Title, which is a residential and commercial real estate settlement and title company down in Birmingham, Alabama. Through his exemplary leadership, South Oak has expanded throughout the Southeast with offices in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. And it's been really exciting to watch that growth over the years in my time knowing Marcus when I was with the American Land Title Association, to now, as he is also the partner and founder of Title Success Solutions, which is his creation after years of advising lots of friends and colleagues in the title business. He assists folks with Title Success Solutions, with mergers and acquisitions throughout the title industry, is a ton of fun and an all-around amazing professional in the industry. So Marcus, thank you for being here, and we're excited to hear what you have to share today.
Thanks, Wayne. Thanks for that. Those remarks, and super excited about being a part of the webinar today.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Now, before we get started, I do want to let the audience know that we encourage you to just ask any questions or type in any comments. We do want this to be very interactive or just collaborative. We know it's kind of hard to do that on a webinar, but if you chat in the LOLs, whatever you want, please feel free to just take this and have fun with it. So we appreciate you being here, and we want your feedback, your questions, and your comments. Okay, so let's go ahead and just not waste any time. Let's go ahead and get started. So like I said earlier, we all know that the market is really hot right now. So Dustin and Marcus, can you please share with us what the market is like in Washington and in Alabama, where you guys currently are? Dustin, do you want to go ahead and start us off?
Yeah, so I'm based in Seattle, and it's been hot here. It feels like for a really, really long time. It's crazy that it's actually gotten hotter. I think we're at under a month of inventory right now for single family homes, which is crazy. We've got people standing up around the block in line to go into an open house just to see the property. And the stats I read most recently is over half of the sales result in multiple offers. So horrible if you're a buyer, wonderful if you're a seller. And our single family home is now over 800K median price. So it's crazy. Everyone's stressed out about it. It's a constant topic, but we're doing business, and there's a lot of business to be had up here. So it's a good thing overall.
Yeah, and I'll just jump in and kind of add to that. I mean, Dustin, I mean, I think across the board, and I've got offices from Tennessee kind of through Alabama and the Florida Panhandle, and whether it's coastal or whether it's major metro like Nashville and kind of throughout Alabama, we're seeing the same thing. Major sellers market, multiple offers way above list price. So I always tell sellers, always ask them at the table when we're doing closings, I hope you've got a place to go, because you can sell your house. I just hope you've got a place to go, or you've at least got a great camper to go hang out in for a minute. So the market is crazy. And for all of us, that's created a lot of things to consider when it comes to running our title companies, whether it's our staff and our team that's extremely busy right now. And I think everybody probably on this webinar can attest to that right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that's exactly right. And that's what we're hearing all around the country. So it's good to hear that from both corners, you guys are experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
We talked about, for the main crux of this webinar, setting yourself apart from the crowd. So from each of your perspectives, and Marcus, if you want to start here, how are you differentiating yourself from your competitors right now? I know that there's probably a lot of different ways that you're doing that, but if you could pinpoint one or two, what would you say you're doing?
I think, we all talk about service. So, it's kind of the old cliche. I mean, service is service. So you better have good service in our industry, or you'll kind of be an afterthought in the market. But I kind of lean towards experience, creating experiences for clients. That's a kind of across the board, whether that's our realtor, partners and clients, what kind of experience do we create, whether that's from a technology standpoint and, doing things with technology that really allows them to kind of better view their files and interact with their files, to, what's the experience like when someone shows up now that we're back in the room together. A lot of us are, doing closings, back within our four walls. What does that look like? And so whether it's just kind of how we welcome people, kind of we've built and kind of moved into numerous offices, over the past few years, and with our growth kind of throughout the Southeast. And we've really kind of intentionally tried to make it where, when someone shows up here, whether it's, we kind of have this concierge, approach. And when you walk in the door, you're getting greeted, you're getting handled, really well. And just the room and everything we set up is kind of unique, and it doesn't feel like a stuffy law firm. We try to create a casual, relaxed atmosphere. And so I think that's important because, again, this is kind of a big transaction. We all know this is part of people's lives. And so creating an environment that's relaxing and enjoyable, I think, is a big deal. We get a lot of credit back from our realtor partners of just kind of the experience we create within our four walls.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
And what about you, Dustin?
So Capital Title of Washington just started serving Seattle last summer, and we kind of just did a soft launch and really got serious this year. So we're an unknown name. So I love that because we get to tell our story in the market. And when I'm recruiting, I get to tell the story of what it's like to work for a Shattuck company, and that's who owns us. And, I agree with you, Marcus. Service, if you don't have good service, you're out. So nobody really talks about that. But what makes you different? And I think one of the challenges I have up here is that, we have the big players up here. They're publicly traded. They do the seasonal layoffs. They do all of the different things they have to do for short-term profits. And we don't have to do that. We have a really great opportunity to, we're privately held. We carry people through market fluctuations and seasonality and things like that. And we use the word family a little bit more seriously than I think some companies do in our business. Without doing the seasonal layoffs and knowing someone's going to be here for the long haul and they're really part of what we're doing, I think it brings a little more life to that word. And I think that the customer feels that in the service, and not because it's better service, it's that they really care about what's going on. That's not just task work. And I think that's a huge part of it. Just jumping into a technology thing, one of the challenges, I came from a disruptor locally in Seattle before I came to Capital Title, and it was all technology, very low experience. And one of the things we're doing in Seattle is we're pushing the envelope on technology, but we're only pushing the envelope on the stuff that really makes a difference for the customer, and not just stuff that's fun to talk about, right? And a lot of things in our market right now, it's fun to talk about stuff, mobile apps and all these cool things. And we're really only going to do it if it's going to make a difference. And that's one of the reasons that we're doing Payments.io. It actually makes a difference that we're proud of. So that's kind of where we're at.
That's great. So Marcus, from your perspective, how is your marketing helping you tell that story? So the story of the experience side of things and what you're trying to do as people get acclimated and all that. How are you telling your story through your marketing right now?
I'll jump in. Again, as much as we talk about technology, we all can agree, I think, that this is still a people-driven business. I love what Dustin says about family. We're kind of the same way as far as, our people are here. People have been with us for a long time. People that, come join us, kind of see the difference in how we run an office and how we treat our people. And so one thing and this is kind of probably a little bit different than kind of approach and maybe just kind of what you thought of when you read the question. But as far as marketing, and Wayne, I know you've done this for another one of your clients, is talking about building our family and kind of telling our story when it comes to even looking for talent. And Wayne, I know you've created websites and pages that kind of help draw in, to reach talent. We just actually completed, a page and kind of revamping our website, but built in for those that are looking to join our team and really creating a page that shows that and exemplifies kind of what we're doing with personal stories and videos and images that shows us, having fun as an office. And so, you talk about marketing. You may talk about marketing outside to our, to get new business. But one of the areas I really think is important, because we're kind of short on talent and trying to find really great people, is telling our story, whether it's through our website or through, social media, about kind of how we do it and why our team's a great place to be. And so that's one of the things that we've done recently that I think really sets us apart from our competitors that may be looking to hire, and we're all competing for maybe, the same talent. And maybe we win because we've done gone the extra mile to kind of share our story when it comes to finding new talent.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Dustin, you're smiling. I assume you agree.
I totally agree. Same challenges. It's like when I read this question, I was like, well, we're doing a typical sales effort to get new business in, but nothing matters unless you've got the right people and the right people feeling like they're in the right place. Our sister company, Capital Title of Texas, is awesome reputation. People love working there. They have low turnover. It's a great place to do business. It's a good group of folks. And so I'm fortunate in the way that I get to build a little bit on their shoulders up here with Capital Title of Washington, and having the same kind of approach to how we do business and how we treat our people. And that's kind of where we are, and we're just getting started up here. So we're going to be working on those videos you're doing, Marcus, and demonstrating what it feels like to be in Capital Title of Washington's office every day as an employee. So it's good stuff.
Yeah. So one thing that's awesome. I completely agree, Marcus, in that this is definitely a people, driven business. Like we all get to know each other. We have relationships, partnerships and things like that. But, the most important thing is these partnerships, these relationships, making sure that we continue to stick to our word and say what we're going, do what we're going to say, that type of thing. But, I think, bringing in the type of people that you want to hire is really important. What kind of energy does your office, create, or do you have when people walk in? I think is just so important. One thing that our CEO mentioned at our last monthly call at payments.io is customer service. Customer service has to be our main focus on getting people just to really be excited, about title, which is kind of, crazy to say, like, get excited about title, which I love. And I definitely do get excited about title, but about this process, because it is such a big purchase. People put their life savings in their home. People have investment properties, and it does affect their lives, what we do. So thank you guys for sharing those comments. I completely agree. Now, Dustin, do you want to share with us a little bit about how you've used technology to help grow and improve your business? We know that, people, it's at its core is what we do, and what we need to focus on. But how have you used technology to grow your business, to make things easier for your clients and your employees as well?
Yeah. So, Seattle's a pretty tech forward market. So the average Joe here expects a lot of technology regardless, which I love, because, that's exciting to be able to serve a customer that's open to doing new things instead of driving paper checks around or doing the crazy stuff that we've been doing for decades. But, the technology that we've been working on and employing has been huge for recruiting, because you sit down with an escrow officer that's been doing this for a while and they have a book of business and they're maybe not totally happy where they are, but maybe they're not totally unhappy either. They want to know, if they move over, how is their life going to change in the closing, and can they call their customer and say, hey, I've got something new for you too? Otherwise, why are they going to just sit in a different desk, at a different company doing the same thing? They want something more that they can sell. So from a recruiting standpoint, using, all the new technology, including payments.io and some other things that we're doing, the big guys aren't all doing that, or they can't move quickly enough to do that and implement that. And so that's something where we're a little ahead of the game, and that's been really great. And of course, the sales process is different. When you're a salesperson and you call a real estate agent, instead of just saying, well, we've got home books and lead lists, they can say, well, hold on, we actually have a different approach to the closing experience, and your customer is actually going to feel it. It's not just something shiny that we're going to talk about over lunch. So in that way, technology has been great, because we're doing the right technology and not just anything.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Go ahead, Marcus.
I was going to say I agree. And I like what Dustin said earlier, even like, we don't want to just roll out technology to say we have the new shiny toy. I'm a tech junkie myself, and so I'm always looking for that new great little thing to do or implement. But it really is finding the pieces that really help our partners. Kind of looking even in some of the chat, about, taking care of our, agents and creating raving fans. And, one thing that I always think about is what is going to help my partners grow their business. That's kind of the way I look at it, just kind of spin it around. If I can add value to what my real estate partners and lenders are doing, then that in turn is going to flow back to us, and so kind of looking across the table and seeing how I can help them really, comes full circle as far as, what returns. As far as technology in our world, just kind of, looking back at our people, what can I do to make our people better with technology? And so, because if I make my people better, then that flows down to our clients and our, the realtors that we work with. And so whether that's, software that frees up more time for our staff, or whether it just makes the process a little easier. And so we've looked in, we've got software that we've implemented or are in the process of implementing that, kind of give some time back to our people, which in turn really lets them serve our clients better.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, really great points there. I completely agree. And I think, like you guys both mentioned, it's about enhancing the experience, not just for your customers, but for your employees as well. We also have like the technology, it's already here, right? I think I forget who I was speaking to, but it's like I can send a $5 Venmo to somebody for a taco, so it's like, why can't we use that technology that we already have in our world for the real estate industry, and Dustin, I know you're using Alana. Marcus, I'm sure you're using, technology that really helps, your customers as well. And it's, bringing in this technology that our customers, our employees already use in their day-to-day life. So it's like, why not just bring it in and enhance it a little bit more? So great. Well, thank you guys so much. Sorry, I got distracted. Dustin, this one's a little bit more for you, but because you're using payments.io, what would you say to those title agencies that are a little hesitant to move from checks and wires to an online payment platform? We know that checks and wires have been what the norm has been for so long, right? And like I was talking about the $5 Venmo for a taco, like why, what are you helping, or what would you suggest for those people that are a little hesitant?
Yeah, well, I think anytime you can eliminate sending wire instructions, especially via email to anyone for anything, you're serving your client. And that was a big motivator for us. We didn't want our wire instructions floating out there, certainly not via email, unless we really had to. And so one of the things that we really loved about moving over to payments.io was that we had a really high transfer limit. So some of the homes out here are very expensive, and they typically would wire earnest money in because it's, quite a bit of money. But we were able to get, I think it's 150,000 limit, which, most transactions, you're not going to have more than that in earnest money. So that eliminates the need for a wire. And those were almost always going to be wired to you because of the dollar amount. But I think that was the motivator for us looking at it. But what we really did internally was, I'm a big fan, and of course, when you have a small team, it's easier to do this. I'm a big fan of bringing in key players and helping me vet products that we're going to look at. And I don't want to just think this is really rad, sit down with payments.io in this example, turn it on, and then sit with the team and say, guess what? Got a goodie for you. That doesn't usually end well. So we brought most of our team in, and they got to know the payments.io folks, and they got to know how it works, why we chose it. And there isn't anyone on my team right now that couldn't, field a call about how we use it. We white labeled it and call it Capital Title Pay. And my whole team is on board because they were part of the decision-making process. And I think that's a huge thing. If, a lot of people don't like change. I get it, especially workflow changes when you've been doing escrow for 20 years the same way. But I think if they get to be part of the decision-making and they really get to see the benefit to their customer, I think you can get some adoption that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Marcus.
I was going to say, I'll add to that in what I know about payments.io. The thing I love is you are able to white label it. Wayne and I talk about branding all the time, and whether that's branding amongst just our offices or other things we're doing, but being able to white label a product like that just continues to build brand and recognition, and just kind of, I just think it looks really good in what you're able to do. And so I love that aspect of it. I mean, obviously being able to transition out of, less certified funds, less wires, I mean, is helpful across the board in the industry. But I do love the ability that you guys have as far as even white labeling that product.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Absolutely. To Marcus, to your point too, I feel like it makes people more comfortable in their ecosystem, in your ecosystem of, I'm not getting a random link from some random company that I have never even heard of. It's like, okay, no, I know it's Capital Title of Washington.
Yeah.
I know it's coming from Dustin. I know it's coming from Marcus. I feel comfortable. I feel good sending this money, which is a lot. So that's definitely a big, positive that a lot of people really like, and especially, the security behind it as well as the efficiency. So thank you guys, for those comments. And if anybody has any questions or comments, please add them to the chat box.
Yeah, I liked Kelly's comment that well-trained, happy employees are customer magnets, and I think that's definitely the case. And Kelly works for Nightberry Title, or I'm sorry, this is Kelly Boston with WFG. I'm sorry,
WFG, yeah.
Yeah, another Hoosier, and I think that that's definitely the case. And you can tell in what you guys are trying to put out, Kelly. You can tell that that's the kind of vibe and culture that you're trying to promote. So that's great. For both of you, Marcus, if you want to go first, what for so many folks right now, whether they're kind of doing some of the stuff that you're doing in the mergers and acquisitions space, or if they're more in Dustin's role where they're trying to grow and grow quickly, what piece of advice do you wish you had gotten when you first started all of this that would have made things better, faster, easier, anything like that you want to share today for folks that are overwhelmed with the volume at the moment, kind of questioning how do I keep trying to grow each day? What piece of advice do you wish you had for them?
Yeah, so I'm going to stay with my theme of people, and one of the things I think I learned, it took I feel like a little bit of time, because I feel like when you jump into the business, especially when you jump in and you've got success and growing, and then you hit a market that's like really hot. You really look outward and you're trying to take care of your clients, which is great. We've got to do that. But again, this is kind of the let's kind of turn around, do a 180 and look inward for a minute. And that's kind of the advice that I would give, and kind of some advice that I got early out of the gate is really taking care of our own. And so whatever that looks like, whether that's doing special things for your team. I tell one of my things that I say all the time, our team, I feel like, gets beat up left and right from the outside, whether it's demanding, clients that need something done yesterday, or, we're waiting on lender packages and we're trying to get it done and trying to get it, meet a deadline. Our guys get beat up every day. And so what can we do from the inside to love on them, take care of them, really create, like Dustin said earlier, this family environment. And so that really is. And so we've done some things, whether it's, again, we actually just implemented in the past month in one of our offices, just kind of kudos, rewarding kind of inside, where from staff member to team member, we kind of recommend and highlight things that are going on that are, and we do some giveaways amongst our team. And so, bonuses are great. We're kind of in a period where everybody's doing well and there's probably bonuses being handed out, but really putting some like meaning behind whether it's bonuses or things that show appreciation, I think go a long way. And again, someone said it in the chat there, well-trained, happy employees are customer magnets. And that is the truth. If your team's happy and it kind of shows, it rolls out to the customers and to the agents that we work with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that. I'm in a slightly different space, having just joined Capital Title last October, and having just a handful of employees and very little business when I walked in the door. And, I'm a pretty impatient kind of go-getter guy. And the advice I would give myself looking back is be patient. That, not everybody runs at the speed that you want them to. And that's in recruiting, and that's in the sales side of it as well, and a lot of other things. And so I think important to your mental health is to be patient, and I'm working on that a lot through drinking wine and some other things, to try to keep it together. Yeah. But
those are helpful.
I started out really impatient, and I'm learning to calm down, and I think that's the advice I really needed to hear early on.
Very nice. I love that. Yeah, your story, Marcus, of sort of rewarding the people side and doing the kudos and all of that. Yesterday was our 4th anniversary in business, and I was trying to show our team, put my money where our mouth is, and tell them that even though we're busier than ever, we want them to take time for themselves and to enjoy their unlimited PTO. And so recently we got them backpacks to enjoy with their family.
Oh, cool.
And we got Airbnb gift cards yesterday to say, really, we want you to unplug. So I get that. I think that's good. But
that's awesome.
The wine's a better idea, Dustin. I think I'll have to
it really works.
reinvest.
It absolutely definitely works. And I definitely understand where you're coming from, Dustin. It's like you want to continue running, you want to continue to have your head down and continue running because you're excited about the business, you're excited about the growth, and your team is excited too. Talking with Marcus and Dustin and Wayne, they all have those personalities that leads a team to want to do more. It's those personalities that it keeps team members like me wanting to work past 5 p.m. and wanting to continue to just drive more business and make them proud, continue to grow the business. So I think that also comes from the top, from the executive team level, from the owners, the presidents, is making sure that, you have a good leadership team that excites people, but also reminds them to be patient and to take some mental health days and to drink some wine. So I think that's really helpful as well. Now, I think this question might kind of tie into what we were just talking about. So if you already said what you wanted to say, then we can just skip it. But from the front desk of the CEO, from you guys, from Dustin and Marcus and Wayne too, if you want to jump in, what is your company doing better than most, would you say? And Dustin, if you want to start us off.
Okay, so one of the things that I knew was in place in this market, and probably is in place in a lot of other markets too, is the reliance on employee contracts or employment contracts. A lot of them have non-competition clauses and things. And so one of the challenges I'm seeing, and when I'm recruiting, I'm hearing this a lot. People are not terribly happy where they are, and they'd be open to a change in title companies because they're looking for a better culture and more engaged leadership most of the time. But what those companies are doing is they're using employment contracts to lock them in for usually a couple of years at a time. And with the non-competition, they can't leave and work anywhere else during that period. So naturally, they don't leave. It's very effective. And I do think they have a place in our industry. But I'm seeing that all the way down to escrow assistants having employment contracts, which I never saw that before. I thought that was really interesting. But that really leads to what we're doing better. It's, those employees are there and some of them feel slightly trapped. But the people that work on our team don't feel that way. Whether they have a contract or not, they're happy to be there and they're engaged and they have a voice. And I would say that, instead of relying on LinkedIn kudos, which I see a lot, or sending out an email survey to the employees to say, how are we doing? I'm not a big fan of that. I think you just go talk to your people and talk to them frequently enough, not just as a professional, but just as a human, and really get to know their whole selves and what's going on in their world. And then, for me, it's like you get to, in real time, you can be a better leader because you're actually spending time with your team and getting to know them. And that fills up my cup personally. But it's so effective because everybody wants to be heard and involved and engaged. And, I truly think that that's going to be one of the things that allows us to be really successful in this market is people are going to start seeing there's somebody else across town doing it better. And we may not even require an employment contract. Imagine that, Yeah. So that's kind of where I see where we are.
I agree 100%. I don't have an employment agreement on any of my staff in any of my offices, because if we're not doing a good job in creating an environment where people want to be and serve and connect, then it's not the right fit. And I would say, as far as the question of from the front desk to leadership, again, it's people driven. Again, I know this is some technology and marketing and how we do it better, but it just comes back to people. All the other things are kind of add-on great pieces, but if you're doing right and leading your people well, kind of a lot of the other pieces fall into place. And so, again, totally agree with Dustin as far as we were kind of the new kids on the block in our market when we started, and we weren't the old guard, and we created a new way to do it and an environment that was more attractive, and it pays off, and you can see it. And so I think taking care of our people is still the critical piece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wayne, did you want to add anything?
I would agree. The people side is what's most important for us. I said from the very beginning when we started Bow Digital that I can train people how to do everything that we do. I can't train them to be good humans. And so that's what we wanted on our team. And that's what we hear now, when we ask our folks, what do you like most about working with us or working here? And it's people say, you get me, you listen and you understand. And so that's the important piece for me, and the rest can kind of fall into place.
Yeah, I completely agree. And maybe we do a webinar or some type of, something where we talk about how you vet those people. How do you get those people? How do you get them in? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are like, well, how do I find the good people? How do we interview for them? How do we, that type of stuff. And I totally agree. You can teach people how to do the things that you need to do in your business, but it's hard to find the person with the right fit, the mentality, the drive, or what you're looking for, to be a right and a good human being. Dustin, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Alexa and Julie on your team, because when we were doing our launch, you guys, they called me on my cell phone. There was something, that I needed, and they called me immediately. And, they are proactive, and those are the type of people that, we want to be working with us and that you have hired. So congratulations. You have a really great team. For sure. Now, I think we're close to out of time. Wayne, do you want to go ahead?
Sure. If you have any last minute questions, please feel free to put them into the chat here. I don't see any right now, but as we wrap things up, before Perla and I do a little raffle for our attendees today, so don't X out of anything just yet. We've got a couple of fun giveaways for you. Before we do that, I like to end webinars by, we've shared a lot of different ideas and thoughts here. So I like to think of, if these folks leave with kind of one big thing to focus on this week or even next week, what would that be? And so, Marcus, if you want to go first with your big thing to consider for everybody.
Yeah, so I'd say, again, just to put a bow on my theme of people, I would say, take a step back, figure out one thing over the next week or two to maybe just implement, and it doesn't have to be an ongoing long thing. Just try to, in the midst of, again, a crazy summer, busy time. If you haven't done it, you may already have something in place, but figure out a way. I love, Wayne, what you said as far as we're trying to make sure our people get out and actually take some time off, whether it's gift cards to Airbnbs, or figure out a way that's unique and thought-filled, that is not just here's an extra bonus and a pat on the back. Be creative and create experiences. Instead of just handing out a check, maybe there's another way to show that appreciation. And so that's what I would challenge people and kind of as a takeaway.
Yeah, I really like that. We're kind of on the same theme here, so I'm going to jump in on that behind you there and say, if you're a leader who feels too busy to check in with everyone on your team at least weekly, just a chat, not just a how you doing, I'm good, YouTube, cool, bye, but actually sit down and chat with them for a few minutes and bring them into conversations about where you're going with the company or the branch or whatever it may be. If you're not doing that, do that. There's no higher return on investment of your time than that, in my opinion. And you'll see a difference in your team, and you'll probably learn a lot too. And so I just say, as a leader, if you're not talking to them casually and about business, you're missing out a little bit.
Agree.
That's fantastic. Well, as we said, we're going to do a couple of quick giveaways here at the end. I know Perla and I have put in the attendees into our randomizers to pick a winner here today. Perla, I'll let you go first.
Sure, yeah. So it looks like the winner here today is Tracy Rivard from Liberty Title. So congratulations, Tracy. I will reach out to you to get your mailing address, and I will send you your Apple AirPods.
Nice.
Yeah, very cool.
And for our giveaway, we are going with Debbie with Title Financial Corporation. You are going to get a $100 Amazon gift card in your inbox later today.
Very cool. Right on.
Great job. Yeah.
And Perla, I don't know if there's anything that you want to remind folks about with payments before we end here.
Sure, absolutely. If anybody has any questions about payments.io, which is a bilateral payment platform for real estate, please reach out to me. My contact information is on your screen. Feel free to reach out to Dustin. I'm putting you out there, Dustin, if you have any questions. But we're happy to help. We're here to educate. We're here to help expand and grow the industry. So I'm here if anybody needs to chat or wants to chat.
Thank you, and huge thank you to Perla and the Payments.io team for helping us put together this webinar and sourcing Dustin and Marcus as our great industry speakers today. Just a reminder for everybody, we did record this, so you'll get a copy of the recording and the PowerPoint that we will send to you. And if you think of anything else that you would like to brainstorm on or think through, whether it's technology or marketing or otherwise, Perla and I are always here to chat. And like she said, Dustin and Marcus are great resources for you as well. So thank you all so much and have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.